Free stuff is awesome, but free stuff to spice up the bedroom is even better. Whether you're buying a gift for your sugar baby or just for yourself, you can get 50% off at adamandeve.com when you enter the code CANDY at checkout.
And that's not all. Adam and Eve will include 10 tantalizing free gifts, a sexy item for him, a special gift for her, and a third item all partners can enjoy. Plus, you'll receive 6 free spicy movies.
But the best part is the free shipping.
You can get all of this at adamandeve.com using code CANDY at checkout.
That's CANDY.
So Shelby, what are you getting me?
Candy Girl Podcast. Fuck me, daddy.
Hey all you candy sluts and bubble butts, welcome back to another episode of Candy Girl.
I'm Shelby.
And I'm Emily, and we... Oh.
No, you go. You do it.
Well, no, after you. You can tell we brought back one of our Canadian guests because we're being dumb polite right now. Gwen-o-ween, welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have you back on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be back on. I appreciate you guys having me.
So there's a lot that we need to catch up on, especially because we saw that you did it's not Veruca, it's Violet Beauregard. We saw that you did that scene and we were both very excited about it because we've been telling so many people about that scene since we recorded that episode. So I'd love to hear about how that went. And then Big Mommy Milky GF has become a thing now. Very excited about that too. So how have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. Just, working as we do and trying to right now it's like Halloween stuff for me. So I've been pumping out doing a lot of shoots and stuff like that, which is nice. I live in Canada and our cases are a lot lower than the States. So I kind of had the opportunity to work with some like a photographer and a videographer friend on a couple of projects. So got some good things coming out, but it's been busy, just kind of trying to get that done. Yeah. It's been busy. How about you guys?
We're doing
overwhelmed.
Our best,
Things are going well. We have a lot of exciting things in store. We'd love to share more in detail, probably after the interview, but things are going really well. And you also indirectly answered the first thing I had on my list. How's Canada? So you didn't need to brag about the cases being lowered, especially because we're a US-based
we have
podcast.
less of a population, so I mean, they're naturally lower, and also we have a decent healthcare system, so
that's fair. Ow.
No need to brag.
But no, we've been on the rise as well. We're technically on that second curve or whatever. Our cases, in the past week, they've been well, we're probably gonna have to go into serious lockdown again because in specifically my province, our premier, who's I guess a governor for you guys, I don't know, the guy who runs our province, he wanted to open it up for the the economy or whatever, same kind of thing as Trump would do. He's basically a tiny Trump, just in Ontario. Yeah, he's let's open up the province. So obviously send the young people back to work because they're working in the service industries. Then that's where the cases are spiking right now. Yeah, which is I don't, that's not fair to blame on young people, which they're trying to do, but it is how it is.
Near where I live in Boulder, Colorado, they actually banned any size gathering of people 18 to 22.
Wow, interesting.
I think it might have worked. I actually haven't checked the cases. I remember a lot of people being upset.
Yeah.
Didn't they establish that it isn't young people spreading the virus as much? Or if it is young people, it's because young people are in the service industry and not because they're following the rules any less than boomers? I thought I read something like that.
That's how it is here for sure. There definitely is a good amount of young people not properly social distancing as well as they could. I know people all over the board. There's people who are complete shut-ins, haven't seen a friend since the start of this, which I'm good for you, but that's not my situation. I'm someone who's in the middle. I only leave the house for my necessities, but I still go to my private gym, which it's just me one time with my trainer. I see my one group of friends because that's what I need to survive. And also And then on the other end of the spectrum, I see people who are like, I know someone who went to Greece for 2 weeks. Like, I was like what? I don't know how you're allowed to do that. That makes no sense to me in terms of how did you get, like, you booked a full vacation, went on it, and came back. Like, that's just, I'm like, that's wild to me that people are out there just going on vacations right now. And I'm like,
Well, we cannot go on vacation. That's
not
right.
even an option for us. Yeah, nobody
American-
wants our passport.
I'm always seeing a lot of posts, and I think even you made a tweet about it, like, damn, really gonna miss everyone from the States for a little, but...
Bye. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of my friends are down there. It's tough to not see anybody or, like, be able to, like, collab with people anymore. Yeah.
I want to ask you about something that happened recently where they were catfishing as you, I guess is the best way to put it. And I've never had an experience like that. I kind of want to know what it's like to see somebody pretending to be you.
Ooh, I guess it really depends. If you're talking about the one on Instagram, it's usually just someone who, like, just, like, copies and pastes, like, your profile and just starts posting pictures of you. And, like, I was very lucky. Like, I got it taken down within a day. Instagram was like, yep, it's a catfish. Like, cool. And I was like, wow, I've never had that experience before. It's very easy. But, like, I've had more serious, like, situations, and not even, like, in my porn persona, but as, like, my, like, real life persona, because before this, I mean, like, I'm well known, like, within my community as, like, a public figure, which, like, I'm in the middle of conglomerating the two just to be Gwen, which is, like, what I ended up doing, converting one of my old Twitter accounts to do, like, my safe for work Gwen-o-ween. So, like, someone was catfishing, and, like, it's been this person who's been doing it for, like, the past 2 or 3 years. And I know it's the same person because it's just the same ways that they're doing things. So this person was tweeting at, like, a local, like, politician that, like, I support, who's a black man, and was tweeting, like, really, really racist things at him as me. Luckily, like, the follower account was, like, obviously that's not me, but my person, like, this politician, like, doesn't know who I am probably. So, like, I was like, that, like, just seeing this person tweeting at him and using pictures from me from high school with my black friends who were, like, I don't even know how that person got those, probably from, like, some Facebook situation, but they've been, like, tweeting at people, like, saying, like, really nasty stuff, and it really, like, that was really, really scary and hurtful. Like, when I got it, like, I was, like, immediately in shock and just, like, started crying because I was, like, someone had sent me the profile and was like, hey, I think someone's catfishing as you, and, like, it was during, like, the height of the media attention on Black Lives Matter protests back in, like, June. I was, like, so shocked that was out there. It was just clearly someone who has got a lot of hate in their heart, who, like, I was like, I don't identify with any of that, so I was like, fuck, that's so scary. In terms of, like, I hate the idea of someone thinking that was me, in my opinions.
Yeah, I didn't know it had gotten that bad. That is really scary.
Yeah, and, like, I think it's the same person who's also been, like, catfishing me when I, like, used to have Facebook. They would make an account of me and then message all of, like a bunch of, like, not my close friends, but, like, my mutuals who would interact with my posts, because I had some posts on, like, public so people could share them, and I think they were going through and, like, liking, or going through finding the people who liked and interacted with my posts, and they were messaging them. This happened, like, on and off for a couple of years, but a while ago it just used to be like, hey, like, what, like, just asking questions, and then it started getting, like, in the past, like, year, they're like, hey, have you seen my porn, to people, and then they ended up, like, actually, like, getting this one mutual of mine, they, like, ended up, I don't know, it ended up being a bad situation, which I won't go into, but yeah, it was really fucked up, and I was like, that's, like, a person who's, like, you know, ended up being, like, a blackmailing situation for somebody else, like, using my image, which I'm like, oh my god, like, that's horrifying that's out there, and someone's trying to be that malicious using my name and stuff, but yeah. It's nothing other than scary. I mean, like, luckily, like, I mean, there's two sides of it. There's people who could be really, like, horrible about it, but then, like, there's, like, the times, like, the thing on Instagram where it just immediately got taken down, and it was very, like, unharmful and, like, didn't affect anybody, really.
Do you think this happens to you more because you're a public figure or because you're a sex worker, or a little bit of both?
Definitely a little bit of both, because, like, I know with this one instance I'm talking about, it was more like my public figure-ness before sex work, But then me entering sex work when this like person was watching me online, I guess, that was like, I guess, used as a tool to like harm me. Like the person who I think it is, a while ago, I think it's this person at least, threatened to sue me for like a very completely different reason, and like has kind of been trying to like get people like around like my city, which like no one really believes, because the majority of people I know are like obviously like know me and stuff, and they don't really know this person. But yeah, just trying to like harm, like kind of use my sex work against me in a certain sense. Luckily, like I mean, like I talk about this, but like it's happened on a very small scale comparatively to some other sex workers who've like been like seriously doxxed, and like luckily I'm pretty open with my work, and like people in my city like know who I am and like know what I do and like who my online personas are. So luckily it's not something I have to worry about completely, but it's like still very lightly traumatizing in the sense where it's like that could turn into a dangerous thing, and there's a threat of it being a dangerous thing. Luckily, like nothing too bad has happened. So
Doxing isn't illegal because it's all in good fun. It's very traumatizing and harmful. Every story of every single person who I've heard getting doxed absolutely terrifies me. And it's crazy just how ready some people are to just go after people. It almost feels futile. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I wish there was some way to where that would not happen.
I know, yeah. I think that's just the thing on the internet. Anytime there's a public persona, or especially sex workers, where it's just like, it's gonna happen, unfortunately, and there's not really anything we can do about it. 'Cause I'm sure that happens to like people in YouTube spaces as well, but like probably not as like aggressively, but it does happen.
I feel like as a woman, you experience things like this a lot, but as a sex worker, you probably experience it at a heightened level. So
what are your DMs like after you post more taboo previews? I'm sure they're going to be weird, but what I'm hoping for is like the MILF Denny's things. I have so many one-liners lined up. Like, how can you not take advantage of that content to say something clever? What are your DMs like afterwards?
Honestly, they're pretty boring. Like, I can go through right now. The people who decide to DM that like are like, hey, I'm going to take your time up, don't really think much other than that. They just kind of go with, so sexy, hi, wow, hi. It's a lot of highs and hellos. Hi, beautiful. Hello, beautiful. It's not very good. I don't know. There's not anything really funny. I think there was one, I'm going to see if I can find it. There was one person the other day who sent the weirdest picture. Okay, yeah, here it is. They sent a picture and it said, this text said, "You're sexy, made my dick so hard." And I'll show you guys. But basically, it's like, it's definitely not his picture of his dick. It's someone else's picture that he took, because clearly there's a watermark on it. But it's like photoshopped with like this. I wonder if you can see this. And I'll read what it says, because it's kind of.
Oh my god! The shutter
glass is photoshopped on, and I was like, and it says, "That felt great, but ... it's not enough." And then in the corner, in a little bubble, a little speech bubble, it says, ... it got so big, heart. So for people listening, it's like a picture of this naked guy who's like sitting in a chair in what looks like an office, and it's definitely all photoshopped together somehow, with his dick in his hand, and then photoshopped like shade glasses like that are cartoon onto his eyes. And it has a watermark on it, so it's like clearly not. I was like, where'd you source this image, sir? I don't know what you're doing, but so funny.
Do you have a system for like filtering through people? I was just curious because so many people just DM you things like, hi. Like, how do you know who actually wants to buy your content and who is just trying to waste your time?
I check DMs just for kind of the hilarity of it. Typically, people who are going to DM you, like, I tell people, like, publicly that I only answer DMs on, like, OnlyFans, which is true. I mean, there's occasionally times where I see something in my, DMs that's, like, of substance, which is, like, you can tell by, like, just the way they put it. And if I'm, like, flicking through the new DMs, if it's, like, you can tell when it's starting off to be, like, a longer paragraph, so then I click on it, and if it's, like, interesting, then, like, you know, I'll reply. Like, this one person was, like, oh, like, this, like, little, like, subby boy who's recently started buying me some stuff off my Amazon wishlist. He started with, hi, sorry if this is a bother or anything, but, like, I just got some of the stuff off of your Amazon wishlist for you, and, like, I wanted to I wanted you to let me know if there's any problems with anything, and like just kind of like really wanted to help. And it was like a big paragraph. And I was like, okay, that's like someone who's like already in the motions of like making me happy. So, so I'll respond to that. Yeah. So there's like some like that will come in. It's usually like people with specific questions or specific purposes that come through. I guess it's mainly a lot of highs though. So I don't respond to those, or people asking for like retweet, which I don't do. So yeah, it's pretty easy. The Instagram ones are a little different, but it's usually people like asking to fuck or something. But yeah, that is how it is.
Hey, baby, want some fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I love the offers, the gracious offers that some sex workers get, where people are like, "I will have sex with you for free of charge for you."
Yeah,
good deal.
Please.
You wouldn't treat anybody like that. Just sending really any dick. It doesn't even matter if it's not your own. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's wild out there.
But don't worry. I'll start commenting on things because I'm always like, this is gold. Because the MILF Denny's thing, especially. We're going to talk about this. I sat down and spent 10 minutes just staring at the dot, being like, how do I frame a question around this? And I realized you can't. Like, what am I supposed to ask? How was it being MILF Denny's? Like, are you going to collab with Femboy Hooters or Goth IHOP?
Yeah, that was so much fun. It was like a super fun video because I was like, I have to hop on this trend. It's very me. I realized like recently that like I really like campy porn. The more just like hilarious and like dumb it is, the more I want to do it in terms of like storylines and media trends. So yeah, I was just like, hey, I'm gonna do it. It's like an easy costume to put together. Order a black shirt and like a little apron, and then hey, you got a video. So yeah, I just kind of just did it. And I was like, I love the puns I got to make in it, which is like, I love breakfast food, so it was really easy for me to come up with stuff for that. So yeah, super fun.
Yeah, that's why I thought, the DMs would be better. Like, I even have just points written out. It, like, this sheet literally just says, how fluffy were your pancakes, mommy? Mm-hmm. And please pour syrup on me. Like, how are people not commenting things like that? That's what I don't understand.
Well, I definitely, let me look at my Instagram comments for that. Because I know, like, that Instagram post of my picture got a lot of like traction, so let me look at some of the comments. Oh yeah, the comments are usually better than people DMing me for sure, because it's like people who, I don't know, actually like respect. I don't know. Okay,
their reputation is on the line.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, I'll give you an engagement or whatever. This one, it says, I'm in Toronto too and would like to take you on a date to a real Denny's. DM me ASAP. And then this one,
how romantic. A date to Denny's.
Girl, I wish I could walk into Denny's and see you. I'm gonna be like, screw the menu, I know what I want. And then there was a bunch of people thinking I was like, it was a real Denny's that I was in. I was like, no, it's just a really shitty Photoshop. Like, I know I can do a better Photoshop than what I did on this, but I decided to do it on my phone because I was lazy. So, like, I was like, how am I fooling you guys? I do not know. That's so funny.
Emily, did you think of any good ones to say on the show?
Bro, I did say the good ones to say on the show. Another point that
I already said them. Oh, I didn't know if you had more.
Well, now I just feel bad.
You're like, what more could you want
from
looking
me?
up?
Sorry. This is like your thing. Your niche is puns.
My niche is just fun. Something. Well, she made so many puns in the preview, like, oh, how would you like your eggs made?
Yeah, I really did take a lot of the puns in my previews of my videos. So yeah, I literally said scramble my eggs like 10 times during the filming of that. It's so easy. It was an impregnation video, so it's perfect. Scramble my eggs.
Clever. That took me a second, but that's clever.
I loved it.
Let's talk about your TikTok. Emily and I were going through your TikTok yesterday.
Oh, which one? I've got 2 now.
And I love it.
I've got 2 accounts. So okay,
Oh, really?
I had like, I don't know which one you guys are looking at, but the one with a lot of like the one with like almost 30K followers is the one I ended up like ditching a while ago, because I've been on TikTok since like before the pandemic. Like it was like a couple months before the pandemic I decided to start on it. And then like in the first 2 months I got, like I think it was like almost 30K followers. And then since then it's been few and far between in terms of like, I think I'm super shadow banned on that account. Like anything I'd put, like I used to get like 10K views on a video, like every video I'd post like in a day. So I was like not getting that any of that at all. Like it was like even after a month, one video wouldn't reach that. So I was like, okay, like I need to it wasn't making me happy to post there anymore just because of that. So I started a new account, which is like the smaller one. So I don't know which one you guys are talking about, but the new account's been popping off. So I've been happy about that.
I saw
I
the
just
one
followed the new account.
Oh yeah, I should do that too. I'm not very active on TikTok, but I do want to support.
I love my TikTok timeline now. I don't really care what information of mine's getting sold.
Yeah. Is it good now? Yeah.
It's just so customized, and like now is like an area where I'm probably going to get a little out of my depth, and I wrote this question referring to your TikTok at 30K, and that actually leads really well into I would like to talk about shadow banning after this. But your TikTok seems less about marketing and promoting yourself and more showing off fun costumes and sharing, I guess, more personal information and almost connecting with the sex work community.
Totally.
And when I go, like, TikTok's super filtered. I'm on, how to be a sex worker TikTok just because I'm always like, I want to talk to them. And I just have so many videos saved where I'm like, one day I'll message them. But like, I'm sure you see more sex worker TikToks than I do. And I don't really see a lot of promotion on TikTok as much as it is like, one, hilarious stories, two, building community and helping each other out.
Yeah, on my first account, like when I started, like I noticed that like anytime I'd post like a video, any TikTok, whether it was just all of it wasn't promotional, the TikTok user base I think is just so active that like people were finding me. Like I didn't have any mention of OnlyFans in my, like I had no link in bio at the time. I didn't mention it in my bio at all. So people somehow, though, the people, like the TikTok people were finding me. Like I was like, every time I'd post a video I'd get like 10 new subscribers on OnlyFans. So like the TikTok fan base is like very like aware of OnlyFans because a lot of TikTokers and people who pop off on TikTok like are using it now. So like they're pretty like active in terms of they'll find you if they want you, so you don't really have to like promote it to them. You just kind of have to capture their attention initially, and then they'll go and do the rest of it, which is nice. But yeah, it was kind of so I was sad when I lost steam on that account, because it was even though I wasn't promoting things directly and just kind of having fun, it was like not like I wouldn't say it was a loss of income or anything, but it was just a sad thing. That sucks, because I was like, there's so many people who like want to view my stuff that are following me but like aren't seeing it, and then there's also like a whole other people that I'm not getting to like getting my face in front of, which is kind of like the whole point of TikTok in a certain sense. But yeah, I'm really glad I started my second one, because I was like, I really like making the videos on there, and I like, doing the trends. I'm not really a TikTok dance person, but like finding the trends and like of stuff that like I can relate to and relaying that. But to be honest, like I don't, on my feeds, I don't see like a ton of sex work TikTok, because I like the majority of that for me is like, it's a lot of the advice that I see being given is like there's a couple people that I'm like, okay, like I really trust you, but there's like a couple people who's like, I've been doing OnlyFans for like 2 months, and like I'm like running like an OnlyFans tips account, which is like, that's not what I'm here to enjoy myself. I don't really need, sure, there's always more to learn from people But like I'm not like I'm here to just enjoy. I'm not here to like learn more about my job. So I like a lot of my feed right now is like a lot, like I've got I guess it's definitely my sense of humor for sure. It's a lot of more like funny stuff, some political funny stuff. There's like, very specific jokes that like, for some reason, like I've ended up on, Matthew Morrison, who, the guy from Glee.
Yes.
Yeah, I've ended up on anti-Matthew Morrison TikTok because like there's like
I have too.
There's like a whole bunch of people who hate him because of his character, and like it was like it's so funny. I'm like, I don't know how I got here because it's funny because I don't see like any other Glee stuff. I just see Matthew Morrison on Glee stuff. So it's like I love this very niche specific thing that's being directed towards me. I think that's really funny. Yeah, it's great.
That's so funny. I am also an anti-Matthew Morrison TikTok. Don't know how I got there either, but they're good videos.
Yeah, I love it. Oops, sorry, I just opened TikTok and started playing videos. It's an interesting time. So it's more like comedy stuff on mine, and then some cosplay stuff started coming up on my feed because I've like because it's like my Halloween month of me doing cosplays. I made cosplay TikTok so I could like start the account off with that, which is good. It's been a really good start. Like the first one I posted, which I did the hormone monstrous from Big Mouth, and yeah, it was like I was like, of course I have to do some TikToks, and literally like I had 3 major filming days and then like a couple like of smaller filming days. So like the 2 days that I was working with this one photographer, I'd work with him, and then for 2 hours, then I'd go to like the place I was staying at for 2 hours, and then work with my videographer on the video portion, and then I like would stay up after, take my own pictures and selfies on like my phone, and then also do TikToks in character for all of them. So it's like if I'm in the costume, gotta get it done. And yeah, so I did TikTok. So like almost a good chunk of what I posted on my new account is like cosplay stuff. And I'm like, don't mistake me. I'm not like, I wouldn't never identify with a cosplayer. I just I'm like, I think there's cosplayers who do porn, because that's definitely like a good like OnlyFans genre. Cosplayers who do porn, but I am a porn person who does cosplay. Like it's a different, there's a line there. Like I'm putting together what makes me happy, and it's not my main thing, but I just like to do it.
Yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about cosplay porn, but I also wanted to tell you that I saw, that trend that's going around where you like throw the shoe and then you kick it and you change.
Yeah,
bro, I watched
you do that,
it like 10
times.
I was like,
this is so fucking cool. It was so cool.
That one's, it's that currently like over the past, so I posted that, like, let me look. I posted that on the 25th of September. So, like, a bit, like, 2 weeks ago-ish. And, like, it got, like, over the course of the last couple weeks, it got to, like, probably, like, 30K views. Which I was like, oh, it's doing really well. But then 2 days ago, it just popped off. So, like, last night, like, it was, like, still, like, going. So now it's, like, at, like, it's almost at like 150K views. So like it just kind of like keep going, and people are like so supportive in the comments, and it's like and I looked at my statistics of like my followers now and like my viewers. 99.9% women, 0.01% men, and I was like, never in my life, not even before my porn career, never in my life has that been my demographic. Like it's always been like just like 99% men. Like so I'm like, this is so wild to me that that's happening, but I'm sure it'll change eventually. But like I'm like, wow, finally the girls and the gays are on my side. I love it. It's so supportive.
Yeah, I really want to get into Gwen-o-ween and how you came up with that idea, and then a little bit about why you think people might be interested in cosplay porn.
Yeah. So I started Gwen-o-ween officially last year, but like the year before I did a version of it. I just didn't have a name for it. And for whatever, so like October 2 years ago was the first month that I put out a significant amount of like videos on a regular schedule on ManyVids. Before then, I was just like literally randomly posting like a not really good planned vid every so often. And I was just kind of like, going about my thing. But like, again, I wouldn't even consider like at that time, porn really wasn't like my full-time thing. I was like mainly doing my sex blogging stuff. But like during October, I was like, you know, what I should do is I should, you know, put together make it interesting for me and like give myself a challenge to like make more videos than I normally do and like put things out on a schedule. So I was like, oh, like I'll do some like cosplay videos for that, or like some like, you know, little dress up videos. So I ended up doing like 16 videos in 1 month, which is more than I put out now for sure. But like, it was, yeah, a lot at the time, but I was like really proud of myself. And like, it was like one of my highest earning months. It was the highest earning month that year for me. And I was like really, yeah, I was super proud. And I was like, I had a lot of like really good feedback about the videos I was doing. And like looking back, they're like definitely so low quality, filmed on my like old phone or whatever. But like at the time, it was like a really pivotal moment in my career in terms of, oh, I should buckle down like as Gwen and like really start putting out stuff. So that was like definitely a turning point in my career. So that's kind of what I love this month for that stuff. So last year I decided, I was like, oh, I'm going to do 31 days of videos. So I put out one video every day, and I did a couple like the same character in different videos to put out, because I was like, I'm not going to do 31 cosplays. That's too much for me. I mean, it was too much for me anyway. 31 videos is a lot. And like luckily like I prepared a bit beforehand, but like I was still so stressed out the entire month. And like in terms of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And like having to post and promote something other than just like your OnlyFans or whatever, doing that every day, every night was like very like exhausting on me. So decided not to do that this year because it wasn't like as profitable as I would hoped it would be. So I was like, we don't need 31 videos. It's okay. We can do like half that. It's fine. So this year I was like, I want to make it more special, but not as big. So like I went for quality over quantity in terms of like collaborating with photographer and videographers to make my visions come to life. And I decided on the Hormone Monstrous, which is a pretty like elaborate costume, like with the makeup specifically. So I hired a drag queen to do my face and beat me up. And so that's like, I did not do the makeup by myself. I was like, I need to hire like a drag queen friend, Helena Poison, who's in Toronto, who's also like an MUA. So I was like, please. And she painted my tits too. So they were like, I've got a bunch of like, you know, titty pictures and stuff that are like all painted yellow. And also like, yeah, I just love the character. So I was like, I want to do her. And then I did Dexter's mom from Dexter's Laboratory, because she's a redhead mommy. Of course, I had to do that. And then my other big one was Elvira, which I've got the wig in the background here. Elvira, who's like this very, very campy goth horror queen with big titties that people will know from the 80s and the 90s. Very iconic person. And she's like super, like I was watching a bunch of her clips before I filmed her video the other day, and like she's amazing. And I was like, just like the things she was saying, and I was like, this was filmed when? Like very, very progressive for her time in terms of like owning her sexuality and being a boss ass bitch. It was amazing. So yeah, those are the main ones I'm doing. I'm doing a couple other smaller, like I did another Miss Frizzle video because it was a custom, and I'll probably be doing yeah Miss Frizzle, so fun. Yeah. So she was one of the people I did a couple years ago. But yeah, those are my big plans, I guess.
So you have a unique insight into costumes, and just, I guess I would say not necessarily unconventional, but we'll pretend like it's unconventional for the sake of everybody. Unconventional people that people are sexually attracted to, or specifically characters. So what do you think people could be for Halloween that would, you know, make people have very confused sexual feelings? And let me just give some examples. I'm not talking about like that hot bitch from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Okay, well, if you're someone who knows about anything about TikTok, you could go as that Willy Wonka TikToker, but you just be going as Willy Wonka, but you'd like have no shirt underneath or something like that. If you wanted to do that, I think that's very niche and specific. I personally don't like that TikToker, but whatever.
Willy Wonka's so creepy. Like, as a character, so creepy. Like, if you're sexually attracted to Willy Wonka, like, you have a very niche kind of interest in sexual partners.
But
I
a
totally
lot of people love Johnny Depp.
That's true. Yeah, it's funny.
He's just... It's just so creepy.
And like the Willy Wonka, so you guys know about the Willy Wonka TikToker though, right? Yeah.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
not Willy Wonka TikTok. That whole thing with Iggy Azalea, I was like,
I know, so bizarre, odd. What an odd person. But it's like you wouldn't, if you're gonna go for Halloween, like if you like TikTok, go as him as Willy Wonka, not just as Willy Wonka. Like you, like I think that because it's the perfect amount of like cringe and like specificness that I like in a Halloween sexy cosplay. I think that's pretty funny. I'm trying to think of other people. Oh, I like also if you like TikTok stuff, Trisha Paytas as the Egyptian dance person, like that. So doing the King Tut dance, I was like, oh my god, ridiculous, but a viral moment nonetheless.
my partner and I were talking about it the other day about just childhood cartoon crushes. I was like, yes, I was very attracted to Danny Phantom growing up. That was by far my childhood crush, especially when he was a ghost. And he was immediately like, do you want me to dress up as Danny Phantom? And I was like, no, you can't be Danny Phantom, Zach. Just wanted to share.
Turn him down.
He just seems so...
That's so funny that was his first instinct was like, I'll dress up as him for you.
So
Do you want
nice.
that? I'll do that for you.
He's so sweet. I just
That
like...
is so nice.
I just wouldn't know what to do, which it's like if any of these characters,
Especially because he's a teenager.
I know.
He's supposed to say
It was more appropriate when I was younger, but now like it's just like, haha, I used to have a crush on Danny Phantom. That one's pretty common, I feel like. I don't think I'm the one that I've heard this a surprising number of times. You'll know that Pokemon Ninetales?
Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah, the sexy
like,
one.
For some reason, and I heard this more in my high school computer science classes, and this was talked about in class once, where at some point there was some sort of sexual attraction to Ninetales. It's a fox with 9 tails that's white. I never got it. I am more concerned the more I think about this now.
No. You can see how it's a sexier Pokemon. Like it's drawn in a sexier style. It's got like the sleek cat eye. It's got very like luscious. Like it kind of looks like a burlesque dancer.
Shit, when you put it that way.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it.
No, because like there's Pokemons like and this is not just like I don't even like or know anything about Pokemons, but in any type of like character like in media, there's like certain ways of drawing things that are like a Squirtle is not a sexy Pokemon. It's a cute Pokemon. And like there's ugly ones. And like this is like Ninetales is a sexy one because it's like more like luscious and it's like a peacock, which is peacocks are sexy animals.
And it kind of has the like, Squirtle or like cute things in general. It's like throw huge eyes on it.
Yeah.
Like half the face is eyes, and this one's some more like
little button nose maybe. Yeah, and like a little tiny feet. Like there's ways to draw things to make them. And it's like I don't want to fuck Ninetales, but I can agree it's a sexy Pokemon.
It is a sexy Pokemon, yeah. Can't argue with that one.
Gwen, what do you think gets people off about like dressing up as cartoon characters from maybe their childhood or just like in general?
Well, I think like one of the biggest things, and I think this is like if you're a porn person listening to this, like nostalgia sells really, really well. People love seeing things that remind like even if they don't know it, they love consuming media. Like if you think of like sequels or like that's why remakes are so popular like with Disney these days, because they're tapping into nostalgia of like flushing out more of the lore of a certain a certain story that touched us during our childhood that we want to learn more about. And I think that's super, yeah, it's very, like, it hits the heartstrings in a certain way that is, like, a great way to sell things, which is why Disney does those remakes and also sequels and, like, also spin-offs. And, like, a lot of other companies do that too, because they know it's, like, a very marketable and, like marketable to the point where, like, they know that if they make something, and even if it's bad, it's still going to sell really well. Because of that factor in terms of, like, it's already, like, content people are familiar with. Familiarity is, like, a very, like, big factor in selling things. So in terms of porn, people love the idea of seeing, like, their, like, you know, their childhood crushes pornified by, like, a human adult is, like, something that people are into, and they get to kind of, like, they're like, oh, I definitely had a crush on that, like, that person or that character when I was younger. I'd like to see that in a, like, more fully realized sexual way in porn. And I think that's really fun to play with and to, yeah, dress up as characters that people, you know, have, like, happy feelings about. And, like, specifically with Miss Frizzle, like, when I dress up as her, like, I'm like, and I know there's some people out there who will be like, oh, but it's a children's show, you shouldn't pornify a children's show. But it's like, I'm not pornifying the children's show, I'm pornifying the idea of someone, and I'm embodying that person as me, as an adult. So, you know, and I'm selling it to adult people. So that's, it's like, that's, yeah, it's consensual that way. And yeah, people love jerking off to their memories and their old thoughts.
So how does it feel to embody so many characters in a sexual and personal way?
It's interesting. That's an interesting question. Yeah, like, I like to, like, look at characters and, like, think of their, like, backstory a little bit. And then that's, like, yeah, maybe it's kind of, like, more of an acting perspective on that. But yeah, I like to think of, like, what the character is thinking about, what their kind of, like, their characteristics are in terms of, are they, like, a kind person? Are they overtly sexy? Are they more subtly sexy? Are they not sexy at all and super shy, but then want to get corrupted to be sexy? Like, there's very different ways you can approach different things. So, like, with Elvira, she's a very campy person and makes, like, a lot of jokes. And so, like, I, like, made sure to throw in, like, quick quips, like, every so often. And I made it, like, my story with her, the video that I did for her was, because, like, Elvira was, like, a hostess of, like, a horror show where they'd watch films, and she would be, like, the announcer, like, host. So what I did was I did it as, like a live show where, like, I was, like, hosting the show, and then I decided that the movie we were watching was too boring, so I made the producers have me be in charge, like, as Elvira. And then I was like, oh, like, well, if you guys, like, love my boobs so much, if you wanted to get the ratings up on this show, well, let's show them my tits. And then I did, like, a tit worshipping video with, like, through that, like, narrative. So I really like to, like, kind of bring the real life circumstances of the characters and use that as, like, the way the story works. That's kind of my creative process on that.
It must have been really fun to play the hormone monstress then, Connie, because she is such a fun character.
Yes! Oh my god, I loved it. Yeah, I put on a little accent. I try my best to do, like, little voices for the people that I do. I always feel so goofy doing them because I don't think I'm very good, but, like, I don't know, I try my best. I try my best to throw, like, quotes in from some stuff too. For, like, Connie, I did, the video I did for her was, like, I show up as the hormone monstress, and I was like, I'm looking around for the child that I'm supposed to be, like, helping through puberty, but then I find, like, a fully grown person, and I'm like, how am I supposed to be helping you or whatever? And then I call my, like, you know, whoever the company of hormones monsters, I guess, whoever's sending me here. I call them and I'm like, are we sure this is the guy or whatever? And they're like, yep, like, he hasn't had sex yet and he's just, like, older. So, like, you gotta help him. You gotta help him not be a virgin anymore. So I did it through that angle. And, yeah, it was pretty, it turned into a very, like, aggressive, because she's so wild and just like, yeah, take it. It's like, it was really easy. And I did it was like a pegging, strap on me taking his anal virginity situation so he could, feel how it feels to be fucked, so that he can fuck other women properly, and a small little dick can understand what it was like to feel pleasure. Yeah, it was a whole thing. I loved it.
God, I love that.
So, what happens when you get requests about characters that you're not as familiar with? Has that happened yet?
No, it hasn't. Luckily, I would definitely depend. It would depend on the character if I was to take it on, for sure. Like if it was if it was a movie that like I know that I'd like, or I'd check out the trailer at least, or like to see if I liked it. Because I often decline some customs because they're just like not what I want to do. Which is like very like lucky that I can do that now. I can choose what I want. So yeah, if I was to get a request I didn't know, I would research them first and be like, hey, like I do want to do this. I haven't seen it, but like I want to do my research. I'd probably just like look into them a little bit more and find out what they're all about, and then obviously have the person pay for the costume and then get it done.
I saw Nick Kroll liked one of your tweets when you were the hormone right?
Yes. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, that was so funny. Yeah, I think it's because someone, like, one of my fans replied to the tweet saying something and then, like, tagged Nick Kroll in it. I was like, okay. Like, I was like, I'm not going to tag Nick Kroll, but all right. I was like, that's cool. Yeah, and it was, like, it was a really quick tweet because I was, I put a free... because I did a couple Hormone Monsters videos. I did like a jerk-off instruction one that I made for free for like this month's Pornhub contest, because they're doing like contests now for free videos. So you can put your free video and enter it, and people can vote. So if you want to go vote on this free video, you go to vote.gwenadora.com, and you have to have a Pornhub account to do it. So please make one for me and do it. And yeah, so I'm did it for that, and I put it out there. So I like when I was editing, I decided to add some like cute little effects in, which is like I added like this very cartoon, like her popping in this like cartoon like puff of smoke and stuff like that. So I put that on Twitter and tweeted it out, and then someone tagged Nick Kroll, and then Nick Kroll liked it, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, please tell me he went and he watched the full video. That would have been amazing.
I hope he watched the porn. Sorry, I'm signing up for a Pornhub account.
I appreciate that.
The thumbnail, it's just too good. I know. So excited.
And it's a gender neutral joy too, so you can enjoy,
Yeah, so one topic, we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Could talk about our cartoon crushes forever. We wanted to talk about dating as a sex worker. I've seen you post TikToks, tweets, talk about it on social media, and it's something that wasn't on our mind until we interviewed Callie Mack a few weeks ago, and she brought it up. And yeah, when I thought about it, online dating especially, is just so fucking hard already. Plus, we're in a pandemic. Plus, like, of course it makes sense that as soon as, people see sex worker, that's like it's very fixated on. I'm sure you have a lot more opinions. So, take it away. Dating as a sex worker.
Take it away. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I've done online dating for such a long time too, so like I kind of know. It definitely used to be easier, I think, but like, yeah, people just kind of like they want to talk about the sex work part, and as soon as like you mention that to them, it puts you on a very completely different like field almost in terms of the way they treat you and the way they like try to approach you versus them trying to approach like a regular person, which is like, it sucks because like sex and like my job is such a big part of my life that like I want to be open about that stuff, but just people go about it in the weirdest ways. So, to protect myself, I just kind of like recently my strategy is not telling people until like the third date. We haven't got there yet, but I think, and I've tried being like, oh, like I'm like a social media manager, because like that's not really like a lie. But like people then go, oh, are you an influencer? And then I'm like, okay, like I don't want to ever directly lie to somebody, but like I think I'm just gonna say I'm a video editor now, because I think that's a little bit more like discreet, if you will, versus like I'm a social media manager, because people have immediately been like, oh, well, like you must like, because they see my pictures, they're like, are you a model? And I'm like, yeah, a little bit. It's like, so I definitely need to like streamline my strategy a bit more, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Like, and again, no like completely bad experiences, but it's just like general, just got like when you tell somebody that what you do for work is a sex thing, they're like immediately fixated on it, like you said, and just go for that, and they don't even try to like get to know me as a person versus me as like Gwen-o-ween, the porn personality, which is like very frustrating, because like I'm not there I'm not doing any like casual like sex I don't do casual sex anymore, so like I'm not there to just fuck. So it's like, why would any, like, sure, I could tell you a bunch about like my job and like my kinks and stuff like that, which is like what you want me to do, but like that's not really relevant right now, because like I'm not trying to just fuck. So I mean, like, it will be irrelevant in the future, but like just not at the specific first time we've matched. Yeah.
What are your dating app bios? Like, do you have like a one-liner, or do you kind of go, this is me and this is what I do?
Ooh, let me pull it up. So I only have Bumble and Hinge. I'm banned from Tinder. I've been banned twice from Tinder.
No.
Yeah, truly RIP, because like before I was banned, Tinder was like my lifestyle. Like I really was like Tinder, like I deserve an award from Tinder from using this app for so much. I was like where I'd find anybody to hook up with. If I was traveling, I'd find people. It was my life source at a certain point in my life, when I was banned, I was pretty disappointed, because I literally was paying for premium on that shit. I was using all the features. It was very important for me during the first couple years of my slutty days. But yeah, now it's Bumble. So I say, Bumble, this is my bio. Alternative lifestyle hedonist and bubbly optimist with a fat ass. I am so cute, motivated, and goofy people to get to know eventually, or looking for someone to make TikToks with eventually. Which is like, that's pretty good, decent. I like that.
That's so cute. I love the fat ass part. You always got to throw that in.
Of course. Like, I mean, they realize it anyway, but like that's just like, I don't know, I'm a very blunt person, so it's like I like to throw that in to let them know, yes, I do have a fat ass. And then on Hinge, you don't have a bio on Hinge. You just answer questions. You answer like 3 questions. So the first question is, the key to my heart is, and then I answer compliments, attention, and mutual emotional support, because that is the thing that's been lacking in many of my past connections. So that is exactly what I'm looking. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
I feel that.
And then my personal brand is that bitch, which is very true. And then you should not go out with me if, which I think of changing the answer on this one. You should not go out with me if you are intimidated by confident women, call yourself a devil's advocate, and won't let me dom you. So that one, I mean, like, I put out that because I'm in the more dommy mood lately. So I was like, I want to dom some cute little boys, which is like, so I put that in my bio, but every boy wants to be dommed. It's all of them. That's the only thing they're commenting on now, because it's a sex thing. It's like, as soon as you put any nugget of a wink to sexuality, they're like, that's the only thing I want to talk about. And I'm like, all right. Like, so I'm getting people messaging me and being like, so what would you do if you domed me? And I was like, well, I don't know what you're into. Like, I don't know you. I can't tell you what I would do if I was doming you, because I literally have no clue who you are. I say that to them because I'm like, fuck you, just like stay away. So I'm thinking of changing it, because it's a little like, I'm like, I think now I know that any man wants to be domed. So that's a conversation we can come up down the line. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally, men will just take whatever they can and run with it if it even alludes to sex. Like, their words can't really talk about raw fish on dating apps because the word raw really triggers some men, or like can't talk about bed sheets on dating apps because the word bed really triggers some men.
Any mention, that's so They're like, oh, you just did your bed sheets?
No,
Let me
seriously.
and you're like, no, I literally don't know who you are, sir.
Yeah, because
Stop.
I also don't use dating apps for relationships really, but I don't use them for just casual sex either. And it's really annoying when the first message you get is like, oh, you like clean bed sheets? Like, my bed sheets are always clean. Do you want to come feel them? And it's like, no. First of all, I know you're lying. Second of all, absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're lying. Yeah. Yeah, that's men are horrible. And like I've got my like stuff open to women too, but like I don't know, dating women is so hard. Dating queer people is so hard too. I'm like that's even more confusing to me because I just like I'm like I know how to date men really well. It's not really well because I'm single, but like generally pretty. I know how to manage them better than I can like other like you know like queer people. Oh. So it's like I don't know. I've had some people like when I've been like so like I don't know. I felt in the past more comfortable with telling women and like non-binary people that like that's why I do sex work or whatever, right? Because they're statistically more open and also like not like shitty about it. But then I've had some people who be like, oh, like you should teach me. And I'm like, no, I'm not here to like an apprentice or something like that. We should make like it's like no, it's the same. Sometimes it's the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any advice for sex workers who are trying to date right now?
Oh, if you can so I find the best people in terms of like crushes and stuff that I currently have. Twitter is probably a better place than anything to find people. Like I've met and hooked like this. I've got this one friend with benefits who lives in LA who like I met on Twitter because he's like a Twitter funny guy and I followed him and like he DM'd me. So like meet people on Twitter. I think like that's probably the best and like interact with people outside of the sex work community to meet people because like for your profile is probably going to get like an eye or two on it if you follow somebody, especially if you think they're funny and attractive. And you'll. So it's like a good way for some DM sliding to happen. I think like I've met more genuine people on Twitter than dating apps for sure. So definitely Twitter.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to the end of the episode. Gwen-o-dora, thank you so much for being on the show again. We are so excited to have you.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, so if somebody wants to go find your content, where would they look?
You can go to gwenodora.com/links, and that will be all my places of interest.
There you go. And you can find us at candygirlpodcast.com or on social media. We're at Candy Girl Podcast on Instagram, at Candy Girl Pod on Twitter. And yeah, if you have any questions for us or for Gwen or for anyone else who's been on the show, reach out to us, candygirlpodcast@outlook.com. Gwen, again, thank you so much for joining us, and we will hear from you guys next Friday.